Hey, girl. Wisco ripping back 2026. End of April, we'll say May-ish. Got a gift. Wife bought me a gift, which is the wiper kit. I currently have the $12 Amazon special. That worked great, but as a gift, she got me the electric one. So that is the project this time around. And what I started off doing was taking off the plastic cover, which is right here with the pins. And that consists of, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7 pins. And I'll show you without showing you. You got a pin back here. There's 1, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. And then there's just clips for the front dash that you just slowly pop up. So, yeah, just slowly pop those up and everything will come off very easily. So, the first step is probably going to remove the rear view mirror, and then I will have to take this off, and then the first actual thing they want me to do is with this wiring harness is sift it through that hole right there, which I already did for my light. First off, get this on camera to show you guys. There's your screw right there to take this off. And what Polaris nicely did was actually put a hole here so you can stick your Allen key in there and loosen her up. So if you didn't know, now you know. Now you're not trying to stick your Allen key in there and go quarter turns at a time. So just an FYI, we'll have to back this screw all the way out to take this clamp off and go from there. That's how you take that off. Here's the rubber hose for the fluid, which gets hooked up to the motor, and then you have your wiring harness. So this is what I'm trying first. And it's going in very easy. That's why I just wanted to get that on camera, because I was thinking of obviously a rope or something to shove down there, or a string, and then tie everything up. But trying this for right now, and everything seems to be going for the most part smoothly. All right, an update on shredding all this wire is everything comes out right here at the bottom. Some electrical wire that I fished through, and now I'm just gonna pull down, because everything, of course, was getting caught on either the previous wire or it just gets bound up in there. So now I will connect everything that I need to here and pull through, and hopefully that works out. Just to show everybody the procedure I just did, because I hate when people cut their video and then it's all done. I think it's BS, because I want to know exactly what you guys did. Is so I threaded this wire up through there, and granted, like I said, I already have positive and negative coming from the light bar, so it was a little bit tougher shoving everything through that hole. But I shoved the red wire up the channel this way, and then I taped the tube and the wiring harness together, and then now I'm slowly just pulling everything back out as I'm pulling, as I am pushing a little bit. But I mean, you only got a little bit of finger room to work with while you're pulling my the wire down. So just wanted to give everybody a tutorial what I actually did, rather than, oh, okay, it's done. So all right, so back at it. This is where I left off after day one. I got the wires run through the cage. They came out right here, and they'll go in this little slot, which will be underneath the dash, and then they'll go through that little grommet that everything's going on through. Everything's still taped together. You gotta untape that. Everything will be, all these connectors that you see here, there's like 4 or 5 of them. You gotta untape these, and they'll all be connected to another wiring harness that's gonna be connected to the bus bar, and then going through the gusset, or the rubber grommet there. So as of right now too, here is my winch switch I pulled out. This is where I relocated it myself with the holes, and I just got to pull these pins, plastic pins off. Hopefully they don't snap, but I will have to relocate that to this side. And then I have 2 lights. When I relocated the winch, there's nothing back here, so I put 2 lights down there. So I got 2 relays, one for the light bar and then 2 lights down below. So I'll have to relocate those relays for the lights, and then just button these up, add some more plastic wire coverings. So that's what I'll be working on, and I'll get back to you. Food for thought, whether or not you're ever going to get a windshield wiper and you want to move your switch around. I got some tabs here. What I did when I relocated that, just go on Amazon, and I bought this whole kit of push pins and tabs. So that's what I used to mount this thing down. And now I just picked a spot that had nothing under the plastic, and I'm gonna put the tabs in. Got the tape off all the wiring harness, got the bus bar ready to go, and here is the other wiring harness, all plug and play. Polaris, for the most part, like I said, makes it easy. So I'll be doing wiring harness, and then cutting out, using a Dremel tool to cut out your switch ports. As I'm cutting these holes out, what I am using is a drill bit on a Dremel tool in a lower speed. I found that is the easiest, rather than using a knife. But what I am doing is I'm drilling it out, and then I clean it up with the knife. And then also I have one of the switches, there's 2 in the pack, one for just wiper, and then like this one, and one for spray. And then I go back with the Dremel and I clean it all up and just keep test fitting. Word to the wise, just a tip, when you're trimming, if you can see this, you only can go so high. So I would just cut it like the line, like they have on the lines, and if you need to go taller, start trimming on the bottom, because you have a lot of room to keep going on the bottom than the top. And then if you go on the top, then you're gonna run into switch issues hitting this lip. So that's what I'm using right now to get these out. One of the things you might say, why don't you just use a disc? Well, when you're at an angle and that disc is you know, ½ inch or 1 inch wide, you're always at an angle. No matter what you're trying to do here. Trust me, I tried that before the drill bit idea. But yeah, if you're at a disc, nothing is easy, and everything's just gonna be at an angle, and you're not gonna get a square cut. So this is all I'm doing. Just like that. Looks absolutely like crap, and then you come in and you just start cleaning it up with your razor blade. Also, if you've never done switches, on the back of the switch there's a little lip that hides all the foo-foo that you're gonna leave behind anyway. So worst case scenario, you might have like a little crooked switch left and right. Now that everything's cut out, wiring harness is run. Relays are put in. Just gotta drill a 1/4 inch hole, little plug on the end. Here's your plug for the bus bar. I did move my wiring harnesses for the lights one over because they don't give you much room on the pigtail, so pretty much this one's gonna have to go on that first plug. And then here's the wiring harness that's run up here. That'll be the motor right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and assume everything is color coded and then zip tie these securely in here. And then also your windshield washer tube is still run. Everything's gonna be running through this little channel. Your windshield will be on this part. Everything will run through here and zip tie it in. And then this pigtail, they're labeled washer, wiper, and then you just match it up to the icon that's on the switch. That's all we're doing here now. So we'll do blue to blue, orange and white to orange and white, red to red, green to green, brown to brown. And then what do we got here? This is just wiper. Let me go get the other one to show you guys. Wiper, washer fluid. That's obviously what they got there. So what do we got? I am going to do washer fluid first. I'm going to do that over here. You do got to make sure your pigtail here has the right, get a line these connectors up. Washer fluid, let me double check washer. Wiring harness fits through just like that. It clicks in the bottom clip, and then just your wiper. Just my wiper. Wiring harness. There is a little plastic plug in here to line up that goes into your wiring harness too to help you out. So that's it. Icons are up top. Slide your switch in and hope your crap cut job holds the switch and hides all your messes. Something like that. Your washer's on a momentary, and then your wiper is, there's a three-way, so you must have off, low, high. Just my guess. There we are. They ain't going anywhere. And then I will, like I said, I will zip tie this stuff together as the directions say, and zip tie the hose up. Make sure you don't kink the hose. Switches are in. Now it's time to put the mounting bracket for the washer fluid in. They supply you with screws, and there's only 3, and there are pre-drilled holes for each screw. So let's take care of that. These are Torx head, just to let you know. All right, third and final one. The bracket, for the most part, only goes in one way to match these screw holes up. All right, there we go. Got plenty of tube for the back, plenty of wiring harness for the motor that's in the back. Now to put this together, we're gonna hook up our hose. We have plenty of line for the hose. Hose goes on that barb. I'm not gonna cut any hose as of yet. Just push it on like so, and then the connector for the pump. Go on. Alright, everything is connected, pretty much self-explanatory. Sorry I lost you there for a sec. We got 10 mil nuts and 8 mil bolts. Bolt everything on. Bolts go in from the back, nut goes in the front. Do that 4 times. All right, it took me a minute, more than one, to get this bottle attached. Only 4 screws. Polaris has you mount the base first and then this. Absolutely stupid. Absolutely stupid. You can't get anything in there on that side to get down in there. Pain in the butt. What I recommend, if you are watching this video and you're planning on installing this, attach the bottle to the bracket first. There's plenty of room for your mounting screws. The reason I didn't want to take out the mounting screws is because everything's plastic and I didn't want to ruin the integrity of the self-tappers. So there's plenty of room for the mounting screws with this bottle on. So my advice is put the bottle on, attach that first, and then attach the screws. But obviously make sure that you connect your pump and your hose wire, your wires before you install that. But what a pain. Thanks, Polaris. I can start reattaching that. I do believe I checked 3 or 4 times. I got plenty of wire to go to the middle. So I can start reattaching, or I'll just put the windshield on and start mocking the motor up. See how that goes. Because I'm still kind of unclear. These directions are not exactly the best, like usual. Like fixed windshield. Install spacer that was included with fixed windshield kit. You really think that came with a spacer 4 years ago? No, wait, it's 2026. I bought this in 2020. I ain't got no spacer. Jeez Louise. So I will do my best to see what I can do. I believe I gotta take this nut off, and there's some spacers or some washers in there. But they do not do a really good job of like where the windshield fluid comes from. And this is obviously got a hole in it, got a hole there. There's no pictures other than how to install the motor. And then this windshield, so the motor bolt will go through there, and then you shove another bolt that secures it in place in there. And then my guess is that other bolt for the windshield fluid will go in this hole. And then you just space it out so it stays past this lip and then sprays the windshield. That's my guess. Polaris don't tell me this in the directions. They just have a one sentence of install this nut and this screw and bada bing bada boom. So she's coming along. She looks like a mess, but actually everything's coming untangled very well as I unplug everything from the bus bar, and everything's gonna actually look really good. So stay tuned. All right, so far now I have everything attached like usual. This plastic piece breaks. Everything's on, everything's good to go. What I'm actually gonna do here is plug everything in, because I don't know if I have this mounted on right. So this wiper blade might go up, and I don't want it to hit and ruin the motor as it tries, if it's gonna go up and hit the roof. So if it goes up, I got plenty of room to shut that switch off, or if I have it installed right, it's gonna come down. Because it doesn't even say, it just has a picture of what it appears that this is mounted this way in the start position for driver's side. Doesn't say that. It just appears on the photos of how it looks. Other than that, it just tells you how to put the bolt and the nut on. So, all right, let me plug everything in and do this live here. All right, well, we're gonna find out how everything works together. We'll just do key on. Everything's plugged in, like I said, other than the washer fluid. Let's try, like I said, this is on a rocker switch, so you should have low and then high. Holy crap. All right. High. Nothing's breaking. It goes the right way. I'm not gonna lie. I was actually very nervous. What a success, Wisco Rippin' fans. The motor does make noise. I don't know if that's supposed to happen. Not a bad noise. Yeah. Like I said, this is on a rocker. I am dumbfounded right now. So it's off. Turned off. Okay, I think I just figured out what that noise is. I think. So, and we got low and then high. Okay, never mind. I thought it was the metal clinking on that, but it's the actual motor just clicking itself back. So, yeah, buddy. Alrighty, I will install then the washer fluid here and go from there. Woo! For round 2, see if the windshield washer works. It's gonna come out of this, I don't know if you can see that, this little screw. And then you can adjust it, but I mean, there's not a whole lot of adjusting because you gotta have room for that hose to go on the back. So let's see what happens when I turn key on. Push the windshield. It might take a couple primes here. I can hear the motor working. So it's priming itself. All right, gotta show you my faults, and you know, I'm not perfect. It's not spraying out. You don't do that. The hose is kinked, so. All right, that's the issue. I'll be right back. All right, I gotta show this. So I took everything apart, but the way Polaris wants it run is right in between the bracket. But there's, even though this tank is angled, when you tighten everything up, there's a pinch point no matter what. Good design, Polaris. So what I'm gonna have to do is there's no way around it. I'm gonna cut that, and it's just gonna have to be, it'll be on the outside of this bracket than underneath. It'll just go underneath this bracket. The way they have it is, like I said, or did before, where the bracket's already bolted in, and then you put everything together, and then you bolt this to the bracket. Well, this pinches your line every single time. No way around it. So I'm just gonna cut the line, pull that off the barb, and redo it. Okay, now she's put back together. Here's the hose. It's on the outside of the bracket, and there's wiggle room, so she's loose down in there. She's not pinched anymore. So, all right, let's see what happens. Now that everything's put back together for the tank, let's turn this on and see the spigot shoot some water. Now I just gotta, it's hitting there. See, the problem with this design is this bolt is only so long, but you gotta have room for that hose to go on. Come on, Polaris, figure it out. So now I need to come out, because my guess is it's hitting right there, and go from there. That's the only adjustment I can make is in and out, but you need enough hose to go on them threads. So there it is, everything works. Just gonna tinker with it, and then I'll get back to you with how everything looks, wiring everything back up and putting everything away. All right, we got an update here. Everything is finally going back together. I got a lot of this stuff buttoned up. It's just I got the lights down there. I got a light in the bumper. I got wires going everywhere, and then relocation of the winch and the switch. So everything is buttoned up. The relays, the new wiring harness. Got the relays for the switches hooked to those little screws. Everything is tight. And then just monkeying with this motor. I think the hot ticket, everything is loose right now. The hot ticket's going to be leaving it loose so it fits. It's going to be very snug between the frame here. It fits, but I also went down the rabbit hole of switching this over. It will work, but then this is all twisted and like it hangs out over here. So they do want it this way, and then your wiring harness will swing over that way, else it'll be upside down, and then your wiring harness, it actually will work out for the, obviously for the most part, everything will work out. I got plenty of wire. Hopefully I got enough tube, as much as I can. So I'm gonna put this back together and then work on that, putting the windshield back on. This is literally gonna be like, well, and I rarely do it now, but taking this off, you ain't gonna take that off as much with this. It's just almost becomes a two-person job. So that's all good to go. Wires buttoned up. The tube is obviously now free down there. It's not kinked anywhere. And the only issue I am now having to keep everybody up to speed is this piece. This is where the hose connects to. Simple design. And then there's a hole on the end, and then the water just squirts on that and it sprays on the windshield. Well, when you put your bolts in on both sides and tighten it up, and you put your hose on there, this only can stick out so far to the point where it just shoots water right here. This is not long enough for this type of windshield. I don't know if windshields are different. This is a 2020 windshield. I called Polaris. I called K&M out of Hancock, and I got a hold of one of the techs that put this together, and he knew exactly. It's hard to try to describe this to people over the phone and what's going on. And one of the techs knew exactly what the issue I was having. Polaris doesn't make a longer one, and the tech, couldn't tell me like a fix for this. The only thing I can think of as of right now is to get shorter nuts to give you some more leeway. See if I can find some from a hardware store. I hope this portrays on camera what's going on. You got a nut, you got a washer, you got a nut, you got a washer, but then you also got your hose. Your hose has got to go over 3 or 4 of these threads to actually stay on. But that only gives you so much that goes out of the windshield to spray on the windshield, and it doesn't do that. The other rabbit hole I could think of, the only thing would be maybe going to the hardware store and getting a plastic bolt and screwing it. You're not going to buy a bolt and try to replicate this, but maybe going to get a couple of different plastic bolts and making my own that's longer. So we'll see. We'll see in the near future of what's going on, but that is currently the issue that I'm having. Obviously, I'm happy that I was able to talk to a tech that knew exactly what was going on, but there's no fix for that. Thanks, Polaris. So, well, finally, I think I have it pinned down of what my solution is. With a trip to the hardware, I came back and I got options. So this is the Polaris stuff. The nuts and the washers. There's the little spigot or the nozzle you want to call it. Here are my options that I thought of was nylon bolts, and I make my own. Drill holes through the nylon and then make another hole like diagonal or something in the end for it to spit down on. And then the nuts to go with it. The other option I thought of was a coupler at some point, possibly to cut this somewhere and then extend it. It would be extended on the outside. And then you'd have, in theory, some more threads on the inside to give that hose a bite. That was the main thing, is it doesn't stick out far enough, but also you need at least 4 threads for that hose to hang on to. And then the third option that I found was jam nuts. So I'm taking the space of the washer and these nuts that Polaris provides, and I'm using 2 of those. So, does it do the trick? Yes. Is it 100% the way I want it? No. But I will be adding thread locker to these, tightening them up, and then for the hose, I did a fresh cut with the hose after putting it on, taking it off, and testing everything out. I'll be adding some silicone to the last couple of threads, and then I will be zip tying that hose to the end. So you'll have, this will be on the outside, and then I'll have this other nut probably about right there, and then the hose. So I'll show you real quick, but it just builds up here. But obviously you run the washer enough, it works. But also, when it sprays really good to the passenger side. It hits this, but the wiper does its job. Is what it is. Is it 100%? Like I said, no. Does it work? Yes. It'll do its job. So I'll show you when everything is dry, the final product. Final test, here we go. So, she only sticks out that much. It it ain't a lot. Like I said, it's still gonna hit and have water pool up there, but obviously there's different gen windshields that have different style moldings up there. It is what it is in my case. So hit the button. So yeah, if that gets, I don't know if I got it on camera, but she spits right on there, but everything dribbles off. At the end of the day, like I said, it works, you know? So, as long as I got, this is from earlier, as long as it ain't dripping. No, I got no drips on the inside. So there she is. That arm almost actually comes up and touches that, but it doesn't. Just noticed that. So yeah, Wisco ripping is what it is. Another job done. Oh, also I did have to move the mirror. You can move the mirror back over for the most part, but then it's going to be hitting the motor and it's going to be rattling, just like everything else on this machine. Buttoned up, zip tied, everything as much as I could up there without kinking the hose. Good as it's going to get. I mean, even adding tubing on top of everything to hide it, you just can't get away from it. It's going to look gaudy. So, yeah. Wiper blade insulation. You can get the $12 one, or you can be gifted, I think it's $600 or $700. Way too much, but for the most part, everything buttoned up. Wiring wise, everything was plug and play. This just was a pain to follow the directions the way they were written and then undo it. But yeah, other than that, Polaris, make that piece longer. I mean, somebody obviously didn't figure it out. I did. So like I said, I just used the jam nuts. I went to the store and no washers, just Loctite, and tightened it down on both sides. 2 jam nuts. Like I said, the other options that I had, a coupler, or making my own with nylon bolts somehow, some way, and then using the nuts. So, all right, Wisco ripping. That concludes another video. So be sure to like and subscribe. Take care, and have a good one. Peace.